everybody. Welcome to Hammertown. How you guys all doing back there? We are in the middle of the Mojave Desert, about an hour and 10 minutes or so northeast of Palm Springs, California. We are in what is known as Johnson Valley at the King of the Hammers. This is, let me tell you, I have been to some of the biggest events around the world, doing Daytona, Indianapolis, places like that. I have never in my life seen anything like Hammertown. Pam Hall, you've been wanting me to come out here. You've been telling me about this place. This is insane. What is Hammertown all about?
Well, right now, Hammertown is about the fire because everybody loves to
Try
sit
to
around
get
the fire.
warm.
Tribe 16, they build, every year they build something different to set in the center of the fire, and that's where everybody's trying to stay warm, like you just said. But Hammertown, it's unique. It's where all of our sponsors are, all of the contingency goes on. We have all the vendors, and it's just something that everybody needs to experience at least once. And talking to you about it, trying to get you here when I met you at Crandon, I'm so glad that you're here now.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm here to see it. Somewhere between 50 and 100,000 people, plus or minus, by the time we get to Saturday and the big races. Racing every day has been going on, activity all around here. And our buddy Dave Arnold has been here capturing it all, and here's what he has seen so far.
Well, guys, one thing for sure is King of the Hammers does not lack in racing. We kicked off this 9 days of this adventure here with all the desert racing. Several classes competed last Saturday and Sunday. And of course, to kick it off, we had the B1s, the buggies out there, like class 10s, the 5 cars, the unlimiteds, the trophy lights, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But we had some winners coming out of this one for sure. Winning the top class in the overall was a class 10 Chase Warren open wheel buggy, which made it really exciting, beating a lot of the other classes out there for sure. But with the other classes competing in the UTV class, it was Austin Weiland taking the top honors there. And in the 5U class, the class 5 unlimiteds, that was Travis Chase. And of course, Cameron Steele was out there in the old class 7 of his, which they call the Trophy Light. He took top honors in that class. What everybody was waiting for was the T1s and the T2s, the roar of the big bores hitting the track out air, ripping up the desert. Well, taking top honors was Kyle Jurgensen. But I think the big surprise was two-time winner Bryce Menzies, who was the top qualifier, ended up breaking down and was not a factor. But a big surprise also was in the T2 was Christopher Pulvardi. Well, that's one of the lighter versions of the T1, a little less horsepower. He only started racing these trucks back in August. Well, he got second overall, beating out names like, Luke McMillan, Tim Herbst, some big players. Cameron Steele, well, the T1s, the T2s, they're in the books. We have the Everyman Challenge running. And of course, what everybody's going to be waiting for is the 4400s, the King of the Hammers. That's it from out in the desert. Back to you, Ralph.
All right, Dave, thanks. We'll have a lot more from Dave this week. Well, joining us on the set now, the legend himself, the king of Supercross, Jeremy McGrath. 7 championships, 72 Supercross wins. That's why he is the king of that sport. Here you are, though, tackling something completely different. What were you thinking?
You know, it's pretty funny that you say that, because 3 years ago when I first competed in this race, I was like, yeah, you know, I've always heard of King of the Hammers. I just want to go check it out. And I was so scared of this place. I don't know what I was thinking, but with the introduction of the KRX, obviously the Kawasaki side-by-side, it was the perfect place to showcase that thing because it's a beast in the rocks. And here we are 3 years later, hoping to get to the end again, hoping for a trophy.
No knack-knacks or can-cans this week, though, right?
No, unfortunately, we're not doing that in the four-wheel for sure.
Yeah.
You don't want your seatbelts to be that loose.
Explain for the folks, I mean, Supercross is a radical form of motorsport, but is this wilder, crazier? How would you explain it?
Well, I can tell you this. We are out here in the desert. It's freezing. There's 30,000, 40,000 people here. It's a scene like I've never seen before. To go out in the race and you know, the rocks, what I like about it is it's technical, which makes it really difficult, really fun, and you don't have to go at high speeds, right? So there's some desert course, there's some rocks, there's a lot of rocks, and, you know, I thought in the beginning I would never be entertained by that. And as I've grown to learn and love the rocks, it's just so fun. You know, there's a million different lines. You have to be good, you have to be fast, you have to not break the car. There's a really big strategy here because it's a long race. You have to make it to the end.
Is there anything about what made you a great Supercross racer that makes you good out here?
You know, I don't know. I think maybe the only thing would be that I believe I can do good, probably. You know, it's totally different. The opposite of anything I've ever raced in my life. Obviously, I'm a dirt bike racer. I don't claim to be an auto racer or a car racer. My racing history is on the bikes, of course. But, you know, I'm having a good time. We do this sport of side by side. We do it as a family. I got 2 daughters that are doing it now. And, you know, look, I'm a racer through and through. So if I can compete, I will. And that's why I'm here.
So you just spoke of strategy. Have you been out there doing your homework to come up with a good strategy, or are you just going to play it by ear in some areas when you get out there?
No, that's a great question. I've went out and ran most all the course. Of course, the big sections of rock down here on this side is what I felt like I needed the most practice in to get some more time in. So I have done my homework, I believe. Of course, at the driver's meeting, there was a few little track changes, so there's a few spots I haven't seen yet, but I've been in them before. So thank goodness. But yeah, I feel like I've done pretty good prep. We have a great team. I have a lot of guys helping me. That's been really nice. We do a lot of side-by-side, and we're excited to get out there.
Talk about the Terex a little bit and what's going to make it so solid here.
Well, I think what the Terex has as an advantage over the other NA cars might be the rock ability. This thing goes through rocks. It still amazes me today when I go out and practice and drive through a section. I'm like, I can't believe I drove through that section. So, you know, at this point, we're in the NA class. We're not the fastest car out there, but we feel like we have some great attrition. The car's strong. It's tough. And if we can get to the end and get to the rocks and start going through the rocks where the car shines, I think we have a shot at doing really well in our class, if not winning it.
And explain for the folks at home that are new to King of the Hammers like myself when you talk about the NA class.
Yeah, so there's 115 UTVs in the class. There's 3 different divisions with the class. One is like unlimited, kind of pro, which most all the cars these days, with the exception of the Honda and the Cowie, there is a Polaris that doesn't have a turbo on them. A lot of the cars are turboed.
So normally aspirated.
We're normally aspirated, naturally aspirated. You can run a 33-inch tire and less in our class. In the unlimited class, you can run 35s on the UTV. So there's a few differences. Obviously, we don't have the speeds that some of the other cars do, but we're hoping to be there at the end.
So besides being out here probably this past week pre-running and everything, did you come out here previous? Because I know a lot of teams come out there and they pre-run before, or where do you get your seat time for this race?
Yeah, fortunately, we only live a couple hours away. So we did spend like 3 or 4 or 5 days. I know there's other guys that spend weeks out here, but I like it, but I have other stuff to do.
Jeremy, you've accomplished so much in your racing career, not just in 2 wheels, but in 4 leading into all of this. Where does this rank now, and what is, obviously you want to win every time you compete, but what would a win here at Hammers mean to you compared to everything else you've done?
Well, look, I mean, when you're strapped in or you're sitting on a bike or whatever you're doing, if you're racing, you want to compete. You want to be in the mix. You want to try and win. A win would be awesome. It'd be really awesome for Kawasaki. Of course, we just have to compete against those NA cars, try to do the best we can. I've been super blessed to win a lot of races on bikes and even in short course off-road. But, it never hurts to put up another W, so we'll see what happens.
Just one more to add to the legendary career. Jeremy McGrath, ladies and gentlemen, the King of Supercross, joining us out here competing this weekend at the King of the Hammers. Stay with us. We got a lot more coming for you from here in Hammertown, live with Speed Sport.
There once was a colt who was raised by goats. He struggled at first on the snow, the rocks, and the rivers. Then he became strong, capable of handling any terrain. And the colt became a Bronco. With 7 available goat modes that adapt the vehicle to go over any type of terrain, this is the all-new Bronco Sport.
The loyal order of riders.
Riders, let your queries be known.
Yeah, hi. Instead of letting passengers wrap their arms around us, can we put little handles on our jackets?
Deny.
Can you imagine?
I want a new nickname. Can you guys start calling me Snake?
No, Brian.
Denied.
How about we all get quotes to see if we can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer?
Approved.
Cool. Hey, if Brian's not going to be Snake, can I be Snake?
No.
The loyal
Welcome back to Hammertown. Ralph Sheheen, Pam Hall with you, and joining us now here is Terry Madden. They call him the Rock Whisperer. How did you earn that nickname, Terry?
I don't know. I got a lot of nicknames that I don't know if I want to admit to.
Well,
No, I just spend a ton of time out here. I've grown up in this world, and it's just, or actually watched this world grow. I missed the first two, but other than that, I've been here and watched this grow from when we camped clear out on the other lake bed before there was a Hammertown.
that's the thing. Hammertown is set up on a lake bed, right? That's where we're at?
Yeah, we moved one year when it rained. We were out here winching trucks and haulers out of the water because it rained and filled up with water, and we moved to dry ground. This was bushes at that point, and that's when Hammertown grew.
And how long does it take to build Hammertown so we can go racing?
I think Dave and his crew normally come out around Thanksgiving and they start setting up, and then that'd be more of a question for Pam. But I know Thanksgiving's when I normally start coming out. I live local, and we start coming out every evening and hanging out and just spending time together.
Yeah, definitely. We were out here at Thanksgiving pre-planning, getting all the inventory done and everything, but the rest of the team, they came out here at the beginning of January. I've personally been here 3 weeks, which is a long time to be away from home helping, but there's such a large team that comes out here and builds this town, and if people really knew what it took to build this, you would be amazed. So I'm blessed to be able to be a part of it. And you've seen it grow so much, throughout the years. And Ralph, your first year here, if you would have been here before, you would be blown away at what this is now compared to what it was at the beginning.
It's shocking to see, just driving in here this afternoon, to see how much there is, how many people are here in Hammertown.
Yeah, I mean, but they're all family too. One of the neatest things is that for me. The racing's amazing. It's some of the best racing I get to do in the world. But we all have addresses. Like Levi Shirley's at 201 Spire Tracks. That's where I used to camp, one of the first teams I raced with out here. And you know where everybody's at, and you make your rounds in the evenings, and you go see everybody. And each year you know where they're going to be. And it's like a big reunion for 2-3 weeks.
Well, I'm going to be right here hosting this with Pam each night. The Rock Whisperer, what is the key to getting through these rocks, which they don't look like rocks? As you're driving around here, they're as big as houses.
I can't really explain it. A lot of it is trying to visualize what the car is going to do, or that's what works for me. For somehow I can see a rock ahead of me and know that if that drops, the rear's going to drop, the front's going to go up, and how it's going to articulate through it. Because a lot of the lines aren't the line that looks easy. The easy line may get you in trouble, or the easy line may lead to a line that's not drivable. You got to be driving further ahead. So you take the medium line here to get to the line you can get through there. You take the easy line here, you're in trouble there.
I'm confused. You got all that, I'm sure.
I did. And he's
You
very
just gotta
well
drive
seasoned.
No, I
further
got you.
ahead.
He's a well seasoned. He's out here racing multiple races, not just you're with Brian Deegan in the Can-Am race, and then what else are you racing?
So we're running the Can-Am race with Brian Deegan this year. It's first year. We've had a ton of fun. He's really picking it up, and we're having a lot of fun. I do a lot of just coaching and running the 4800 race with the Warrior Built group. It's a volunteer veterans group I work with and help a lot. And then Kyle Cheney and I are going to run a Can-Am in the 4400 race and see what we can do.
Nice.
Talk about the 4400 category. That's the biggest, the baddest, right? How crazy are those vehicles?
They're insane. And watching the evolution of them has been one of the biggest things. From what they were, the first new car I was involved in building, we built in 2011. A lot of junkyard parts. A new car now, the motor costs more than a car costs to build in. The evolution that these companies have put into it is just unbelievable. It's changed motorsports as a whole.
And we're looking up to 900 horsepower?
Yeah.
900 horsepower just ripping through this desert. And I think that's what I am so amazed by with Ultra 4 here at King of the Hammers, is that you have to build one of these 900 horsepower beasts that can go up and over boulders, we said, as big as a house, and then flat out across the desert floor. Usually a race vehicle is built to do one thing, rights and left-hand turns, or go straight down the drag strip, whatever it might be. Here it's got to be a very flexible vehicle.
Yeah, they underestimate what an Ultra 4 car can do. And it's evolved everything. I mean, a lot of the technology that we've developed or everybody's developed in here for four-wheel drive, now there's four-wheel drive trophy trucks running Baja, and those parts weren't there before Ultra 4 was doing it.
So what is your favorite class out of all of them that you've raced in out here? What's your favorite one to be in?
That's a big question. I truly enjoy the UTV. It's relaxed. It's more fun for me because there's a little less stress. So it's more of just a driver's class, enjoying it. There's less dollars. It's about how well you can drive.
Terry, as we wrap this segment up here, I don't want you to try to pick a winner. I know that's hard to do, and I wouldn't want to put you on the spot like that. But tell me what the winner's going to have to do this year to win.
So it used to be more of an endurance race. Now with the way the parts have evolved, the way the teams have evolved, it is absolutely more of a sprint. And there's 10 guys that could win this easily, and they're all going to run, but 7 of those guys may not finish. We used to all race for a finish, and now there's a lot of guys that are just racing to win. So it's going to be the one guy that has that perfect day. I mean, one flat tire ends it.
It's going to be incredible to watch. Speed Sport's going to be here all week, so make sure you stay with us to catch up on everything happening here at King of the Hammers. We're coming right back with more Speed Sport live from Hammertown.
Bronco, an American classic, returns. And it only gets better when it's outfitted with the right gear. From bumpers to winches, rigging accessories, suspensions, body armor, and wheels. You need a full array of gear to outfit your Bronco for adventure. Get them now at warn.com.
Riders, let your queries be known.
Yeah, hi. Instead of letting passengers wrap their arms around us, can we put little handles on our jackets?
Deny.
Can you imagine?
I want a new nickname. Can you guys start calling me Snake?
No, Brian.
Denied.
How about we all get quotes to see if we can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer?
Approved.
Cool. Hey, if Brian's not going to be Snake, can I be Snake?
No.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Hammertown Speed Sport live from here in Hammertown, and I can't wait to get over there with those guys and get warm by that big fire as soon as we're done here, because I got to tell you, this might be the coldest live TV show I've ever done. It's pretty chilly out here, and we're joined by a dear old friend, a colleague, because we've done a lot of TV shows together, and a great off-road racer. Welcome to our stage, Cameron Steele. How are you doing, old friend?
I'm doing great, Ralph. It's so great to see you. It seems like it's been a decade since we've been together, but it's great to see our paths collide here
once
at King of
again.
the Hammers. Yeah, and I love your anecdotes and your thoughts about when you first saw it, and you compare it to, you've been to Indy, you've been to this, you've been to that, but you've never seen anything like this. And that's exactly how I feel every time I come into Hammers.
And that's true. Each of those venues, whether it's Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Daytona, Sebring, Pomona, Anaheim, whatever you're doing, they all have their each unique vibe, right? There's something about them that makes them special. This, I haven't figured out yet. It is incredible. As you come driving in here on the way from Palm Springs today, you kind of come in over a rise and it just lays out on the lake bed in front of you. It's as far as you can see, campers and toy haulers and race trucks. It's just for miles around. It's amazing to see.
It's overwhelming for sure.
Really is.
It's come a long way. My first time was in 2008. I was invited as a celebrity driver.
Well, because you are.
And that's very kind of you. But I ended up navigating, and I fell in love with what was going on. I just didn't have the equipment to do it. I started announcing and commentating for Dave Cole and the King of the Hammers team. And eventually there was a motorcycle race, King of the Motos. I'm like, I'm going to race that. So once I got in the rocks, I was like, oh man, I was hooked. And so once they started Trophy Truck or T1 coming, and my friend Cody Wagner at Laser Nut offered me to drive his car the last couple of years. So now we race 5 classes, total rock donkey. I'm a junkie, I'm all in. It's the second biggest effort we make all year long. It might be the biggest, it's really close, but with 100 people on the Baja Peninsula for the Baja 1000, that's probably a little bigger, but this is as important to us as the Baja 1000.
So how do you prepare yourself to race every single race? Because I know last year you raced every single race. You've done that multiple years. So what do you do to prepare yourself to race?
It's not a lot of days in the gym, I can tell you that. You can probably tell, but by the wind burn on my face, you might be able to tell that I've been out at the Hammers for quite some time. I believe 22 days of training leading into the 12 days of full-time here at Hammers. We've been driving all different types of vehicles. We have 5 race vehicles for myself. We have 3 other race vehicles in the team. Then we have 5 different pre-run or course reconnaissance vehicles. I actually brought my motorcycle in case we broke all the other cars to do training with, but I never took my motorcycle off the trailer, so I'm a little bit bummed about that. But it's an amazing undertaking. So for me, what I do is I have a cadence. I don't just drive the trails, I walk the trails, I run the trails. So I spend a lot of time exercising, getting used to it, beating my body up, and every single day for the last probably 8 days, I've been in my driving suit. I just took my driving suit off right now. I mean, from 6 in the morning until 6 at night.
You've won the Baja 1000. You've been very successful in off-road racing, but you haven't won here. Why not? What's the difference with this thing that is so challenging for you?
Well, I think it took us quite a bit of time to get to the very top of the overall winner for the Baja 1000. I think the same thing is true here. It's just taking some time, some training, a lot of respect. I spent a lot of time as a student watching everybody, learning and trying to understand. By the time we got here to race, I had a lot of different ideas of what I thought would work, but I've been blessed with the opportunity to have great partners, great vehicles. The laser nut car that I drive in the 4400 is one of the only all independent suspension cars, and so we've had that technology and we've ran in the front very consistently, but with respect, and earned our way there, and we just haven't earned that top spot. So, you know, I think we were a little bit crazy to think that we could fix the one part that broke the first year and come back and try to win. It almost worked. Now we've done a ton of changes, and now I feel like we really are in position to put ourselves there. We qualified on the 3rd row here, and we'll see how it goes from there.
So out here doing your pre-running, you've been out here 22 days, you said. Out here, which race is your favorite race to race in?
Wow, that's a great question. It's not the T1 race because I race that all the time, although I do love racing the T1 race. I actually think the 4400 race has no comparison in the world because of all the different disciplines. We're going to be going 100 plus miles an hour in the bumps and the lake beds, and then we'll get to the rocks, then we'll get to the hard rocks. I think there's so much thinking and there's so much attrition in the race. So I really think the 4400 race is my favorite. The other thing that's very cool about that is I race on 37-inch tires in the mini truck and 35-inch tires in the UTV, and yes, we have 40s on the trophy, but getting in the big tires with the all-independent suspension, all wheels driving, it's nice and cushy and smooth, so I kind of feel like that country clubber again when I get in that. I've earned my way there after beating myself up in the other classes.
That's awesome.
Now, a lot of our viewers here on Speed Sport, they've probably heard of King of the Hammers and Hammertown, but like me, they've never been here. They also have probably heard about Baja, probably more familiar with the 1000 because it has a longer history. I've been to Baja, I've raced that, I have an understanding of what that's about. How different is this mentally for you to race King of the Hammers than it is to do 1000 through the Mexican desert?
Well, I think that's a great question, Ralph. The desolation and the isolation of the Baja 1000, the factor that you race more at night than you do during the day. We just raced the Peninsula Run, we finished 3rd, and I raced all at night except for the last hour. So I think that part of the 1000 is a little bit tougher mentally, but this has a different aspect of mental game because you want to go fast. You have the 700 or 900 horsepower, you have the big wheel travel, you have the giant tires, but you got to remember when you get out there that you got to turn it off a little bit because it's cliche to say, but you got to finish to win. And a lot of times, I mean, I can tell you from experience, we've been in front twice and didn't finish. So for me, the mental game is pretty equal. As far as just pure toughness, of course, nothing compares to this. Nothing holds a candle to this. I would say the King of the Motos race is the toughest race they've ever had here, which is the motorcycle version that's not happening this year. But the 4400 race is tougher than anything I've ever raced, hands down, all the way around when it comes to off-road.
That's a big statement. Cameron, thank you for coming by. Best of luck to you.
Ralph,
get
all
to the
the
top
blessings
step
to
of the
you.
podium, huh?
Great to see you.
All right. Well, he's told you a lot about what it takes to win. Prepping the truck, you got to be on your game for that, as Dave Arnold explains.
Hey guys, we're out here in the Genrite pits, and one of the most important things is getting that car prepped when you're racing the big class of the King of the Hammers, the 4400s. Well, these guys have done a lot. They got a brand new car, not much time on it, and I'm going to talk to Tony and Jordan Pellegrino. But first, Tony, let's talk about this new car that you got here, Lamborghini.
Yeah, the bodywork kind of gives it that look, and Jordan and the crew have been working on this thing for a year. They've got a lot of time into it, and finally here, and we're excited to see this run.
Jordan, you're the driver here. It's a father-son team, and man, you got a little bit of seat time. I know that you just got this car built.
Yeah. We literally just finished it this week. I probably have 3 or 4 hours in the car, and we just found out last night that the way I've been driving it, I haven't even had full throttle. So the qualifying will literally be the first time I'm going to let this thing sing. So it should be a good run, and hopefully it'll set us up nice for Saturday's race.
Tony, I know the prep. Get out there, getting the shocks dialed in. You got desert, you got rocks. They're going to throw everything the California desert has at you. What have you guys done to prep this car to make it withstand all this grueling race?
So we've done this for a number of years, both Jordan and I, and you've got to go through the car with a fine-tooth comb. You've got to run all the best parts, or it's not going to hold up. So we've kind of streamlined that process, and even though the car is pretty new, we know it'll hold up. One of the things that we've done is gone to, it's an LS platform that we use in both this and some of the other vehicles that we come out to pre-run in. And we've gone to a super high quality gasket like the Cometic gaskets. They've got those all metal and some of the ones with silicone built into them. And that really keeps the motor tight and sealed. And you need that for a long endurance race like this. These guys are going to be out there for 12 hours just pounding on these cars. So you've got to have the best of everything out here.
Well, Ralph, there you have it. That's what it's going to take to be on top here in the 4400, the Hammers class.
All right, Dave, truck preparation, vehicle preparation is going to be such a key to win here at King of the Hammers. We're coming right back with more Speed Sport live from Hammertown.
Single-digit temperatures, a couple of inches of snow on the ground already, and more predicted as the day goes on. In other words, conditions are perfect for the all-new Bronco Sport.
The loyal order of riders.
Riders, let your queries be known.
Yeah, hi. Instead of letting passengers wrap their arms around us, can we put little handles on our jackets?
Deny.
Can you imagine?
I want a new nickname. Can you guys start calling me Snake?
No, Brian.
Denied.
How about we all get quotes to see if we can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer?
Approved.
Cool. Hey, if Brian's not going to be Snake, can I be Snake?
No.
Welcome back to Hammertown, Speed Sport live here in the middle of the Mojave Desert. You can see the fans behind us having a great time. They are a huge part of King of the Hammers and Hammertown, as Dave Arnold found out earlier today.
We're hanging out here over at the Ultra 3 gathering. A race is broken out. We got some people hanging out here. Let's go talk to some of these ladies. How long have you been coming out here to King of the Hammers?
Oh gosh, 9 years.
Why do you come out here? We're in the desert in the middle of nowhere. I see a few probably people hanging out.
I think the question is, why wouldn't you come out here? This is epic. We have all the off-roaders from every different background, motorcyclists, three-wheelers. We have the racers out here, the Jeepers, the Toyota guys, the Ford guys. We have everybody out here. Why not come out here? Whether you're here for the racer to hang out and drink some beers with your buddies, it's epic.
How long have you been coming to King of the Hammers?
This is my 7th year.
What brings you out here? Where are you from?
Silverton. I come for my friends.
What brings you guys out here to King of the Hammers?
We come out here every year. We would never miss it.
How many years now?
I've been coming since 2010.
2010. What about you?
I came out here to support a fellow racer and help him out.
That's so awesome. You guys having fun?
So much. This is great.
You wouldn't be anywhere else but here, right?
Not in the whole wide world.
Right on. Thanks a lot. Well, you've seen it a little bit what's going on here at King of the Hammers. Man, if you haven't been here, you need to come check it out. Watch all of our live footage here on King of the Hammers as well as on Speed Sport. Check it all out on our social media.
Well, as you can see, the party is underway here in Hammertown. The fans behind us having a good time. As soon as we're done, just to our left, there's a full-blown stage over here, and Sublime is going to be playing tonight. Pennywise on Saturday night. That's where you can pretty much find me late at night.
Exactly.
Of these nights, that's going to be the hot spot for sure. And joining us now, along with Pam Hall, is Ryan Thomas over here, CEO, President, whichever title you're going with these days, of Ultra 4, which is the sanctioning body for all things King of the Hammers.
Yeah, Ultra 4 is the sanctioning body for King of the Hammers, but we also have a series, national series, where we travel across the country with 11 other races. So the King of the Hammers is definitely the Super Bowl of our series, and it's how we kick off our season. And man, what a kickoff it's been.
I've made this statement numerous times already on the show. I've been to the Indy 500, been to the Daytona 500, all massive events in their own way, huge crowds and all that. I've never in my life seen anything like Hammertown. This is unique, it's incredible. How do you do this?
Well, it starts with flat desert, well, and some canyons with some rocks in it. But I moved onto the lake bed with Pam and about 14 other people about a month ago, and we turned this into a city over the course of about 3 weeks. There's electrical, there's internet, street signs, road signs, mapped out addresses for pit crews. 140 plus vendors show up here to talk about and share their products. It's a major ordeal that most people, when they show up, have no concept of the amount of work that goes into this.
How big is King of the Hammers in Hammertown? How much of the Mojave Desert are we using up here?
Well, the space, I believe, is about 800,000 acres. I don't know the actual footprint of the race course. We're about 38 acres, I think, of Hammertown. And then, I mean, you can see when you look out across the desert, it's the entire lake bed is filled with motorhomes, campers, RVs, and all of that.
So we were talking about what it takes to build the town and all the volunteers that we have out here. You guys do an amazing job. I know I'm a part of the crew, but what it takes behind the scenes, tell everybody kind of what that takes.
Well, we put up, I believe it's about 17 miles of snow fence, and that. So Dave designs a race course where we use the natural.
Dave Cole, you're talking.
Dave Cole, yeah. He designs a race course that uses the natural topography of the area to create boundaries that it's impossible for spectators to get into areas that's not safe. There are some sections where we put up a whole bunch of snow fence, and we'll have a crew that for 2 weeks does nothing but pound stakes and roll out snow fence. Other aspects of it, like you mentioned, Pam, the volunteers, we'll have, I think Cynthia said tonight that we had 290 something volunteers. They will disperse all across the desert, making sure that we're keeping spectators in safe areas and not in the middle of the race course.
There's going to be a lot of folks watching the show over the course of the week that maybe want to come out Saturday for the big event, or maybe they want to come next year. But they're probably wondering, how do I do this? How do I find this place? How do I get tickets? Are there tickets? What do I need to wear, bring, so forth and so on? What would you tell them? How do they go about learning?
Well, that's a lot of questions. The first thing I would say is bring lots of warm clothes. You already mentioned it here. And I think that's something unique about this event as well. When you talk about how it's different than anything else, by sheer nature of the environment that we're in, the people that are here didn't just happen to stumble across the place. They're here because they're passionate about what we're doing, whether they're the competitors or the spectators or the crew that's building all of this. So start off with warm clothes. Bring some shorts too, because in the middle of the day when the sun's shining, it's warm. Amazingly, go on to Google Maps, put in Hammertown and it shows up. So you can drive straight through it with your iPhone or any other kind of a smartphone you've got.
Yeah, then you can go to Ultra 4 or King of the Hammers on the website.
Go to the website. Yeah, you can. The tickets now are sold at the front gate. You can't get them online anymore. But if you do decide to come out here, like I said, type in Hammertown into Google. You'll get to the welcome gate. It's $50. You're here for and there's a little bit of confusion here. It's $50 to be here for the entire 10 days of the event. So it's really cheap entertainment.
That's the best value in racing right now.
And like you mentioned, Sublime's playing here in about an hour and a half. Saturday we've got Pennywise. It's A-list entertainment.
Yeah, and that's all part of my $50, right?
It is.
That's a great deal.
Did we charge you, actually?
Well, you probably. That is the best ticket value in all of motorsports right now. All this and Pennywise and Sublime for $50, that's a pretty good deal. Okay, well, here's what's coming up tomorrow out here at King of the Hammers. The racing gets underway. They're going to have the Can-Am UTV King of the Hammers.
And then at approximately 5 o'clock, we're going to have a Can-Am UTV grudge match. Now, what's going to be interesting about that, the top 20 finishers in the Can-Am race, they're going to do a complete invert. So the person that finished 20th will now be in the first position, and it's a $10,000 purse for the win.
Winner take all.
And then tomorrow at 7 p.m., we'll be right back here, Pam and I, and some more guests to talk about what took place on Thursday and what to look forward to on Friday and Saturday. We hope you will join us all week long here at the 2022 King of the Hammers as Speed Sport is live from Hammertown. Thank you, Ryan, for coming by. Have a great week. Pam, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Ralph Sheheen. Thanks for joining us. Speed Sport live from King of the Hammers.